In this video, we're going to draw an orthographic drawing of a box. This box will have a circle in it. Now, the first thing we need to do is to make sure our polar setting is set at 30, 60. Now, I just clicked and I'm drawing a line at a particular angle. Over here with polar, it is set at a 30, 60, 90 setting. Now, these settings can be changed to draw lines of different angles. Right now, you can see the angle here is 0, and I'm drawing a line at 50 millimeters. Now, once that line is finished, I'm angling my cursor upwards. So because I have it set at 90, I can draw a 90-degree angle, or I can draw a 30-degree angle. So if I were to change the setting, I could draw different angles. But with this one, I'm going to draw a 90-degree line at 50 millimeters long. So I type in 50, I press enter. I am using the zoom tool at the right to go in a little further. And I'm also using the palm tool to move around our viewpoint. So I click the right endpoint and I'm projecting it upwards at 90 again. I type in 50, enter. So I will connect this to the left side. Now, because these two lines are the same measurement, I just need to connect them to one another. And here's my square. All four sides are equal. Two lines are at 180 degrees, are flat, while two are at 90. I just changed the layer to outline. Always make sure you have the correct layers. Now, in our tracking settings, make sure that polar tracking is on and make sure that most of your object snaps are on. These will help you to access points on particular lines better and also provide you with more functions. Now from here, I'm going to try to find the center of the figure. So when I hover over the line, I can see there's a midpoint. And Autocad provides this option so that you can see where the center of a line is. I right click, I'm going to click repeat line to reuse or reselect my line tool. And I'll draw a horizontal center line. So what I have just done is to find the center of the square that is here by doing two of these lines. Now these are constructions. I'm going to change them to center because center lines are the lines that you use to show the center of a figure. In the circle setting, I am going to select radius so that when I draw my circle, it is at the correct radius. I select the center or the midpoint and I extend, and now I will type in the radius, which is 15. If I wanted to do a circle at a diameter, I would have selected diameter. So once again, I change the layer to outline. Now from here, I am going to reselect. I can reselect my tools, but remember to press escape to deselect a tool. So the pan, which is the hand, you can use that to move up and down. Now, this view is my front view. I'm going to draw a view to the right of it, which is my end view. So it's important to make sure that your views are spaced out equally. So I drew a construction line just now at 15 millimeters. And this is to make sure that the first view that I have is exactly 15 millimeters from the second view, which is the end view. I will draw in the vertical line. I will come across 50 millimeters, that is the width of our figure. And then I will also come up 50. This is the height of our figure. And then I will connect it to the first part. So this here is the side of my drawing, the side of my block. So I'm going to make sure that I change these lines to outlines, which is the correct layer for them. Now, what I will do is I can check my dimensions here, make sure that the space between them is 15. Now, if you put it at 20, that's okay. If you put it at 10, that is okay. You do not want the space to be small, but the important thing here is that we're going to come down now to do a view at the bottom. Make sure that the lines here are 15 as well, so that the space between each of the views, or the space between each view is 15. So I'm going to draw my plan view now. And I just connect the first line Now, as I draw down this line, I realize that it is very close to the border. So I do not want to draw it close to the border. So I'm just going to zoom out, highlight the entire figure, and then I will right click and I will click move. Select a point and I move it upwards. So then I'll zoom back in. Now you can zoom in using the right side, or you can pinch on your keyboard, or you can right click and zoom there. So now I'm going to complete the bottom side of this figure. So the line coming down, we want it to be 50, so just check to make sure it is 50. I'm using the automatic dimension to do that, and then I'm going to complete and finish this plan view. Now this plan view is the view from above. What do I see when I look down at the figure? As I connect or select the line tool, I draw across 50 and I draw up again to close the box. So I'm changing a layer here to make sure that it is on the correct layer, which is outline. So I have now my three views. My front view, which shows the circle. I have an end view, which is my side view. And I have a plan view, which is the view looking at the top of the drawing. So I'm going to use my annotate or my auto text and write in the words front view. To move the text, I just left click and then I left click again and drag. I'm going to copy this going across, and as I copy it to the right side, I can right click it and I press clipboard copy and I will paste it there on the right side. So usually you can copy with base point, but you can also just click copy and paste to have the drawing pasted. So I have here my front view over on the right side, but the correct name for this is N. You will double click, left click twice, and then just edit the text. Do not press enter after writing the text, just click away from it. So I copy it again, I double left click, I backspace, I type in, the correct word here is the plan view, and then I will just click away from it. Do not press enter. So now I have my views correct. You would realize that this figure, the front view, has a circle or hole in it. So what we need to do is to make sure that our front view lines up with our end view and our front view lines up with our plan view. So the sides line up perfectly. The top and the bottom line up perfectly. So if I were to check the measurements, I'm making sure that the measurement between the two is the same, which is that 15 millimeters. So since this circle is here in the front, we need to show what the circle would look like in the other views. And first thing, we draw across or extend our center line. You click it. Then at the end of the line, you will see a square. You will left click there and pull it downwards to extend that line across. And you can do that with any line. Now we're going to select construction, our line tool, and we will project our circle across. I project the top of the circle. I will then project the bottom of the circle. And where these lines hit the side of that end view, we will draw our hidden lines across. So our hidden lines, they show what the inside of the figure would look like. And in this case, that hole or that circle that is going directly through this square block. Here's an important tool, which is to trim. So you can select trim and just left click the lines that you want to trim off. Those lines will come up lighter when the trim tool is hovered over them. Whenever you're projecting lines, use construction. So we are going to project down to our plan, both sides. And we will draw our hidden detail lines in our plan view. So one of the important things here is that the lines in your front view must line up with the lines in your end view, and they also must line up with the lines in your plan view. So as I project down these views, the points there from these views I just deleted my extra line and I will trim off the excess because that projection line is important, but I don't want it to be in the drawing there. So now I have my front view, I have my end view, and I also have my plan view. And these three views are the views of an object in our second video. Remember that when you're drawing a circle, you can click the down arrow to select which way you want to do the circle. If you want to do it by diameter or radius. To dimension, you can click the auto dimension at the top and click the left side of the line and the right side of the line. And the last thing here would be to make sure that you use your correct layers.